Last night was the first episode of the Bake Off and I was really excited to watch it. I'm going today to reproduce those Jaffa cakes you saw in this second part. So here in front of me I have a lot of different ingredients, but they're very simple and you've probably already got them in your cupboard already. So first off, just a couple of large free-range eggs, then 50 grams of plain gluten-free flour and 50 grams of caster sugar. I've got a pack of jelly, I've got a tablespoon of marmalade, just ordinary marmalade, and 200 grams of dark chocolate, which also happens to be dairy-free. So anyone who can't eat gluten, can't eat wheat, can't have nuts, and can't have dairy will be able to try this treat. So the recipe calls for a pan of boiling water, and I'm just bringing this pan to the boil now. On top of it, I'm going to put a basin, and that is going to have the caster sugar, flour, and eggs in it. I'm going to crack the eggs into the bowl. Actually, I'm going to lift this off just for now so they don't scramble. And make sure there's no shell in there. I'm going to add the caster sugar, and this is all going to be whisked over the low heat. You'll see after 4 or 5 minutes it comes into a lovely creamy texture like that, and then it's ready for the flour. So get a sieve and pop your flour on top, and then as you shake you need to whisk that in as well. Keep whisking, you don't want to whisk too much air out. Oops. This is where you need a third hand. Okay, well, anyway, I'll whisk it all in. That should start to smell quite good actually. Okay, that should be fairly well combined, and time to transfer to the tin. So I've greased a muffin tin here, just very lightly, and I'm going to pour a tiny bit of batter into each of these holes. And with luck I will get it even and not drip any on the sides. And when you're done, it's time to transfer to the oven. I've got my oven set at 190 degrees roughly, that's Celsius, and I'm just going to pop these into the oven. Should take about 8 to 10 minutes. Meanwhile, it's time to make the jelly, so I'm just going to boil the kettle. Okay, so I've cut my jelly up into cubes, that's orange jelly, and I've set my scales to milliliters so that I know when I pour in the boiling water I can have exactly 125 milliliters. Oh, nearly, oops. Oh, 2 milliliters will be right, I think. And then I'm going to add the marmalade that I've got here and stir it all up. Okay, I've stirred my jelly so that everything is smooth, and I'm going to pour it into here. Oh, some bits didn't quite... Oh no! Right, I might mix those in a little bit more. Right, now that that's properly mixed, I'm going to pop it in the fridge. When it's set, I'll be able to cut out those discs that go in the Jaffa cakes. The timer's just gone for these cakes, so I'm going to open the door and just see if they're actually done. I should be able to pull them out and just, yep, they spring back. I think those are done. Now that the tin is cool to touch, I'm just going to loosen each of these with a knife, and then they should be able to lift out, just like that one actually. Yeah, that's perfect. Brilliant. Next thing we're going to do is melt the chocolate, and I've got, this pan is brilliant actually. I bought it in IKEA a few years ago and they don't sell them anymore, which is really annoying. But we're going to pop the chocolate on top of there, and remembering that the water shouldn't touch the basin. So I'm just going to keep turning over the chocolate, and it should start melting pretty quickly. So that only took about a couple of minutes to become really, really smooth. So I'm going to turn off the heat now and leave that to cool. I've just taken my jelly out of the fridge and it is completely set. I'm going to use a knife to go around the side, and I'm hoping that will be enough to mean that the jelly turns out. It may not work at all, so we will see. No, definitely not. Right. Let's see if using the cutter will take out a disc of jelly instead. Oh, yuck, yuck, yuck. Okay, no, that does work. Okay, so taking one of these discs, I'm going to pop it on top of the Jaffa cake. fact, I'm going to pop them over there, and I'm going to do the same with all 10, I hope. So here are my Jaffa cakes without chocolate, and now it's time for the fun bit, pouring dark chocolate. So here's my cold melted dark chocolate, and I'm just going to go for it on top of these. I've got the wire tray beneath to catch any drips of chocolate. I'm just layering on a lot of chocolate here. This is probably more than your average Jaffa cake, but I figure for people who can't normally have Jaffa cakes, you might as well have a really good treat. And here they are close up. I'm just going to let them dry and then do the all-important taste test. I got a little impatient and popped 2 of the Jaffa cakes in the fridge so that the chocolate would set, so that I could try one of them, and there's chocolate everywhere in the kitchen, but I don't care. I'm going to try this Jaffa cake, and I reckon this Jaffa cake is going to be awesome. Okay, there is way more sponge than you would get in a normal Jaffa cake. But that is amazing. The jelly tastes really good, the thick layer of chocolate is good, and I reckon anyone who can't have dairy, wheat or gluten will feel really spoiled.